A sensory garden is designed to stimulate all of the senses. While most people think of a garden, they think of sight. They look at the color and the way things look. But there are 5 senses that can be stimulated, and every garden can add aspects of these for other senses. Taste, touch, sound, and of course, sense of smell. The sense of smell is a very important sense for people. A lot of people can be brought back to memories they haven't thought about in 50 years when they have a whiff of something that they remember from their childhood. And flower gardens are an important aspect of bringing in the scent of the garden. Herbs can have a great scent to them that stimulate the sense of smell. Some of these you can stand at a distance and smell them. Others, you brush against them as you walk through the garden and they release their odors. And this is, again, adds some interest and excitement to the garden. The main sensory element that everyone thinks of when they think of gardening is the sense of sight. We look at color, we look at form and shape and texture and density. And all of these things make up the visual part of the garden. The sense of touch is very important, and this is especially important for people with limited vision. Many of the plants in the garden can be touched, stroked, petted, and all these plants have different textures. Some plants will have a furry, fuzzy leaf, which is very nice to stroke. The sense of taste is very important in the garden, and many of our garden plants are edible. Of course, we're thinking fruit and vegetables, which can be munched on as you're going across the garden. Herbs can be chewed on, or they can be brought inside and used for cooking. And these will, again, add something to tie you in with the garden, the flavor of the garden. One of the aspects of sensory gardening that most people forget about is the sense of sound. And plants actually will have a sound. Some plants, like our ornamental grasses, will clatter and move in the wind, and that adds an element of excitement to the garden. Willows and bamboos will swish and going back and forth in the wind, and that will add a sense of relaxation in the background. You can also add artificial elements for sound, such as fountains or wind chimes, and these will add a little bit of interest, and for the visually impaired, it helps you situate yourself in the garden so you know exactly where you are based on where you can hear things. All gardeners should try to include some sensory elements in their garden, and it doesn't take a lot of work. You don't even have to build a special garden, because many of your common plants can bring a sensory effect to the garden. You just need to do a little bit of reading through some of our extension bulletins to come up with some more ideas on what works with what and how to add them to the garden.